Hey guys, it's Tinker Taylor here today, and we are doing a renovation of some of the dorms. I've completely forgotten which. I think these are the Foxberry ones. So the yellow room here is a a quad room. So it has 4 desks, 4 beds, 4 cupboards, and it's a bit tight, but that's what you get for having 4 people stay in a tiny room. This is the only quad in this build. There's a triple and 2 doubles as well. And I have left the walls and the flooring as the colors they originally were. I was considering changing them just to white, but I thought I'd make it a little bit more challenging by leaving it because I personally don't think many rooms work as bright yellow, and I would personally hate living in a bright yellow room. So yeah, I thought I would try and renovate. Well, I wouldn't even say renovate, just refurnish this build to suit, yes, some people I've made up inside my head, because I've tried to personalize as many of the um just personalize the rooms as much as I could. So, in this room here we have someone who is really big into animals and art and nature. So their section, as you can already see, is filled with a lot of animals, and their desk is the one up against the wall next to the little bar fridge. So I've just tried to make it a bit personalized rather than having these empty dorm rooms, and of course you guys can change them around as you please. I was considering doing one as a single, but there's not really a challenge in doing it as a single. There'd just be so much space. So that's why I did 2 doubles instead of a double and a single, as well as the triple and the quad. And they're all different in style, I guess. Oh, they have the same furniture, but very different vibes. As you would imagine having 4 versus 3 versus 2 people would. I would not like to live in this 4 bedroom one because it is ridiculously cramped. I wouldn't even say cramped, it's just all 4 people are there and trying to attend online classes or uh, studying for exams and stuff like that. It would feel so overbearing. And I've also realized when I was going through the screenshots of this build that the person who is on the bottom desk in the bottom bed on the not this bottom bed but the other one, they have pictures of posters of science stuff, but their desk, that in my mind that's their desk, is kind of lawyery, so I didn't really think that all through, but they might just be really interested in science as well. I don't know. Yeah, I've tried to personalize it as much as I could. Some of the rooms are a lot more simpler. This one definitely feels like the people who live here are trying to squish every little thing that they own into here because there's not much space, so they're, trying to find the space where they can, whereas the other rooms are a bit less overcrowded. Um, but even this desk isn't too bad. Um, yeah, I really did have fun doing this build. I did have some issues taking photos of the last room just because of the way I set it up, but that also because it's very dark, so you can't really see everything, which I didn't really think through. But at the same time, that's probably the room I'd want to stay in because of how separated I made it. But that room is last, so you'll have to wait around to see that one. Yeah, so this is, I imagine, the lawyers. Oh, I've moved on, but the stacking all those documents, like, that's why I thought they were going to be a lawyer, but then they have the science stuff all over, and it just thoroughly confused me. So I do dart back and forth a little bit when I forget things here and there. Every room has a bed, a desk, and a wardrobe for each sim that's allocated to that room. So if it's the 4, they've got 4 of everything. But each room only has 1 bookcase, I believe. And the triple, the quad, and one of the doubles have the same my goodness, the same bookcase, but one of the doubles has a different one, which I realized again afterwards, but there's no harm in changing it. This one I had a little bit of trouble trying to set up because I wanted it to be a bit private for the person who had the desk underneath their bed. And again, I imagine this is all set up in a way that the students have moved it all around. I know some universities you can't move the cupboards around, but this is The Sims. I'm gonna do what I can, which is moving the stuff around. This dorm is set up for a sports person who is in that little nook by themselves, a musician, and I believe an interior designer or something of the sorts. Oh no, sorry, an artist. Which is an interesting mix. Because I did try and mix them up a bit of who would be in what dorm. One of them is very similar in the style for both of them because they're kind of doing similar degrees in my mind. But again, you can personalize this however you wish because this is for you guys to use with your Sims. I just made up Sims in my head. And the reason why I kind of really wanted to do this build was because I've been doing a lot of research, like a ridiculous amount of research into certain dorms in America because I'm writing a story, and long story short, the characters stay at different dorms because they go to different universities. Long story short, I've done more than my fair share of watching videos and looking at pictures and finding out information about dorms, so that kind of really inspired this in my mind because I've been thinking ever since I started on that research journey, how would I, if I were in these, rooms, these positions, how would I do it? And I was thinking of how you could do a room with like a curtain across the top of the bed, so like the top bunk, to try and make it more personalized. But then I was like, you'd have to hang it from the ceiling, and I don't think universities would really be happy you putting a curtain inside the ceiling. But yeah, besides that, I actually had quite a bit of fun trying to make these unique and different and have different vibes to it, and it definitely helped with the different coloured walls. Otherwise, I think I would have made them very much the same. This dorm is the one with the different bookcase. I really wasn't happy with the way I did this TV stand, so I do change it in the end. And I do give it a more modern bookcase. It's that one right there. Because I must have just completely forgotten that I was doing one of, like, I was using all of the university furnishing, but then again, in some universities you can ask them to like get rid of or like take some furniture out and so you can put your own in. Yeah, this room is a lot more artsy and girly or feminine. Um, so I imagine the people who live here are, one of them is a fashion designer and the other one's a photographer maybe. Um, yeah, so uh, yeah, that's pretty much it with this build. It's mainly the last one that takes so long because I just could not figure out in my head how I wanted it. And so many items just don't sit in that little nook of the um what do you call it, of the wardrobe. So I found it so difficult to find things that fit inside of it. But some things are, I'll admit, floating slightly above. But if you don't look too hard, it doesn't really matter. I was so frustrated with the Sims standing in the room. I had to keep moving them around with objects so I could actually get to what I was wanting to do. But yeah, so I don't know if the person's an interior designer or just a designer in general, but whatever, you can make your sim whatever. And again, I thought about this way too late, probably around this stage, that I have no idea which dorms, which universities offer which degrees, because I know they don't offer the same ones here at Britechester and Foxbury. So I just went, you know what? we're just gonna go with whatever I've done because I'm not gonna have to redo the whole build just because I got some things wrong. But that'll be a future me problem where I'll come back and fix it up because, you know, there's no this or that degree or whatever I've picked. Yeah, like I said, that's a future me problem. And hopefully by then more things have been added to the game so that I can really personalize it. Like I wanted to add fairy lights, but they only have the I think it's City Living festive lights, and they're just a no. They're a solid no from me. They don't have any just like wall hung ones, and if they do, I completely ignored them. And this build, oh my lord, I kept rotating things and moving them, and I didn't like it, and it did not have to be this hard. I could have like if I had just left it like this is almost how it looks in the end anyway. Um, I'm kind of annoyed that it took me so long just to get to the same outcome, but I eventually get there in the end just because I really wanted it to be super separate and have moved the furniture around so it was really like private. But then at the same time, I didn't want um like the Sims still had to be able to get around, and I didn't want to have to try and figure that nonsense out as well. Like if this was just a build thing where I could build it however I wanted and it didn't matter, then sure. Like I was gonna leave it like that, but then one of the rooms is kind of slightly bigger, and I wanted it to be as even as private as possible. So eventually we get to a point where I'm happy, but it takes a few more rotations of all the furniture until I until I get there. But yeah, this is probably the room I'd want to stay in purely because of the privacy. Um, I don't know how I'd feel about sharing tiny space with another human being. But if that's what I had to do, then I would probably want it to be set up very privately. I know that you can get curtain rails that, like, the rod bit extends and you just put it in between two walls and it tightens, like you tighten it and you can just hang the curtains. As long as you don't like yank on it, it won't come down. It's like a good privacy sort of screen thing, and I mean, it's probably the best you could do in this sort of scenario, but yeah. So yeah, this is probably the room I'd want to be in. I don't know which side I would want to be on. Um, Although, truth be told, I would probably want to be in either the blue or orange room for location on the university. So, like, not on the side where the university is, it's on the side where the river is. But if I had to pick any room based off privacy or like interior, and I definitely would want a double rather than a triple or a quad, and I definitely want something more private. Like, I wouldn't mind hanging out and talking with whoever my roommate was, but to live in the dorm with three other people in one room, I would go insane. I honestly do not know how people do it. I go insane sharing a room with just myself. And that's just hectic enough. I wouldn't want to have to add a second or third person to that. Especially if we did not get along, which would be super unfortunate. But thankfully I'm not in this scenario. I did have a mini, I don't know what you'd call it, but like, I was gonna, like, I'm gonna move to another country and study there and study abroad, and just was getting very annoyed with life and whatnot, so thought, hey, why not move to another country? Which would mean probably living in a dorm and probably mean sharing a dorm room. But I did not do that. I am still in my original country, and yeah, I'm probably not gonna run away anytime soon. Although I would like to travel. I know that's not really an option right now, but eventually I would like to travel. I did have plans, but those plans were pushed back thanks to COVID. So yeah, I've got to figure out what I'm doing. Also, I didn't realize I couldn't put stoves in. I didn't realize you weren't allowed to cook at all in The Sims, which is stupid. But I figured that out when I saw the little arrow, the little symbol in the top left corner there. I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to have like a proper kitchen. So I did adjust this kitchen bit to have, oh, in a minute. I don't really change the bathroom much, to be perfectly honest. I just add a few more sinks and change the mirrors, because it's a good enough area. But yeah, I changed it around so you have microwaves and one fridge for each dorm room. That's why some of the dorm rooms have, one the quad has a bar fridge in there somewhere, because I could not imagine having 4 people in one fridge freezer would work out that well. I mean, I'm sure it would, but some people might have extra food, or like a lot of frozen or cold stuff, or I don't know. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of the build. I didn't really do much in the hallways because I didn't see a need to. I was gonna try and add a laundry, but then I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. But yeah, this pretty much it. So this is the yellow room, the very, very overfilled, stuffed, busy room. It's quite nice for something that's quite hectic. This is the triple, quite spacious compared to the quad. Then again, you're moving an entire bed, an entire wardrobe, and an entire desk. They were able to fit. I mean, the quad even had a little couch in there, but this one has a 3-seat couch, as does this double. I really do like. If I really got on with my roomie, I would probably just get a little room divider and stay in that room. I'd be happy for that. But if I didn't, I would prefer to stay in this room, which is a little more private. It is a little closed off and it would feel cluttered and small, but at the same time, you definitely have a lot of privacy. Just the kitchen. bathroom. I don't know why she was cleaning the sink. But yeah, here's a top-down view of each of the rooms. But yeah, if you guys like this build, let me know which room you would prefer and why. And let me know how it goes using your Sims in here. But other than that, I will hopefully see you guys in the next video next week. Let me know any suggestions down below if there's anything that you want to see, and I'll see if I can do it for you guys. Alright, bye!